Hello, and welcome to this episode of our #WeConnect webinar series. We are so excited to come to you today and being joined by our special guest, Miss Rebecca Tyrrell. Rebecca Tyrrell is our Director of Student Support Services, and I am so excited to see all the information she has to share about all the efforts that we conduct in our department. Hi, Becky. How are you today?
Good. Thank you, Dr. Woodland. I'm glad to be back and update our community on all of the happenings in the Student Support Services Department. So thank you for having me. Just a little bit of a reminder, I just want to let everyone know it's my third year as the Director of Student Support Services, but my 20th year in the district.
Yay! That's so exciting. You get one of those fancy pins at the end of the year, right?
Yes, add it to the collection.
Yes.
So just to update everyone on Student Support Services and all that it encompasses. We are a pretty large department, which includes our pre-K, early childhood, special education, school health services, all our SEL, social emotional learning, and PBIS, and then our extended day services. So we're a very active department. We have a lot of hardworking staff members in all of our buildings. Not to be forgotten is our fabulous district staff members as well. Little shout out and thank you to our two district case managers, Allie Wilson and Meg Locke, our district BCBA, Grace Habercorn, our administrative assistant, Jean Hector, and Elizabeth Lopez, our extended day supervisors. So these are the people on the ground in the building supporting all of our programs.
Yes, and they all do an amazing job with kids, for our community, for the district, and we are so grateful to have each of them. Now, jumping a little bit to our strategic plan, I know these goals were really in the forefront of your mind when you took over as director 3 years ago. And so if you could just go into detail about what those look like, that would be greatly appreciated.
Okay, so as always, when we're talking about our programs and the decisions and actions and next steps, we're always referring back to our district strategic plan, specifically the Student Support Services Department. So looking at the areas of like, how are we promoting collaborative practices across our educational settings, evaluating and identifying a continuum of services so we can increase continuity for programming, but also promote some inclusive practices. And then always looking at implementing what current supports we have or what supports we need to address the social, emotional, and mental well-being of our students and staff. So those are always in the forefront of those decisions that we're making.
Great. Thank you so much.
Just a little bit of a review about what we're going to go over today. So these are just some department updates or happenings or programs. So I'm going to talk a little bit about our district community leadership team, DCLT, social emotional learning and our mental health resources. And then I'm going to talk a little bit about Neurodiversity Spirit Week, our Special Olympics event, and then something that's new is our Special Education Parent Advisory.
This is great. All topics that I'm super thrilled to hear about. So tell us a little bit about our district community leadership team.
So our district community leadership team has been meeting for the past 3 years, a group of stakeholders. So there are community partners, the original members, the original 3 would be ourselves, the D124 administrative staff, and some district staff members as well, the Evergreen Park Library, Mr. Frank Murray, and the Center for Self-Actualization, Ms. Tammy Bobel. So together as community partners the last 3 years, we've really been meeting and working on combining our efforts per se in how we can support our students and our families. So the past couple of years, we've added new members, and this year we've added 2 new members. So now we also have the Evergreen Park Urban Barn, the Office of Citizen Services, the Village Pantry Coalition, and the SXU Birth to 3 program. So we're excited to add these new partnerships to gain more information on what they're seeing out there in the community and what needs that they feel like we can address together. This year, really our goal has been to conduct a community needs assessment and develop more of a resource directory, so something tangible for our students and families. So this task started with a needs assessment. So putting a survey out there, English, Spanish, and another language that we've seen a huge increase in Evergreen Park is Gujarati. I probably said that a little wrong, but so we put that needs assessment out there. We obviously have ideas of what we're seeing at the school, at the library, at the barn, and the Village Pantry Coalition about what families needs, but we really wanted to hear from our families as well. So once we did this needs assessment, we're doing what's called resource mapping. So really looking at what programs and services the school has, the community organizations, and then some other agencies. So for example, like what academic supports do we have? What parenting education classes are out there? What mental health resources are out there? Housing assistance, food assistance. So really looking at all of those different areas and a number of different resources and kind of putting that together. So that's really what next steps we're doing. Putting that resource guide together. And then determining how we're going to disseminate that information and continue to update that information. So that's really a need that we've seen, especially since COVID. What's out there, what's local, and what our families need.
Okay. And so if I was a parent and I was in search of some of these resources, is there a place that which I could locate them, or is there someone I can contact?
So that's kind of the next step. So we have our draft resource mapping. So what we're next meeting, which is April, we're going to talk about how that will look. Whether it's going to be, by agency or whether it's going to be by resource, just like where that's going to be or what that's going to look like, and then where we're going to have those. So we have some links right now on our website, but we really want to have like a hub of where our families can access that information. But we also want to make sure that we're disseminating that like within our buildings. Sometimes parents come to our classroom teachers and it doesn't even get to like a social worker or the principal looking for, resources. So we want to make sure that all of our staff have access to that and know that that's out there.
Perfect. Great. So tell us a little bit about social and emotional learning and how you see your department supporting with this.
Yeah, so social emotional learning is a process of developing social emotional skills. We do address social emotional learning in the educational setting by a number of ways. Most people probably hear of PBIS. We love a good acronym in student support services, but our PBIS system is really a framework that we use to promote positive behaviors. So it focuses on prevention and teaching and reinforcing those positive behaviors. So this is done in all of our buildings, PBIS framework tiered support. We also have SEL curriculums in kindergarten through 8th grade. Second step is a curriculum designed to promote social emotional competence, self-regulation, and increase school success. This year, we've piloted Capturing Kids' Hearts, which is another curriculum in 2 of our elementary buildings. This is a character curriculum, and it looks at strengthening connectedness in like the school community. It's really relationship driven. It's kind of aligned to monthly character traits. For example, March would be courage, April could be perseverance. This is the curriculum we have been using at the middle school level for 6th through 8th grade. Piloted it at the elementary level. We also do what's called SEL screeners. So these screeners are done twice a year. They're completed by teachers on all of our students, K through 8th grade. And what we're doing is we're really looking at those students' social emotional functioning and their competencies, which to talk about what social emotional competencies are, it's like their self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, relationship skills, decision-making. So it's a quick screener. We ask all of our teachers to do it on their students for the fall and spring. And then we kind of look at, the results of those and determine programming for individual students or groups of students, like how we can meet some of these needs within the day, whether it's individual or groups or even grade level supports. It's also for our teachers as well. So like if we're seeing that, a high number of students are having difficulty in relationship skills for a grade level, we might provide that teacher with additional coaching and support to address that, like day to day, every day,
right,
within the building. This year, go ahead.
I think it's so important that our families and our teachers recognize the importance that SEL really should be the plate to which everything that we do. And it really allows for consistency district-wide, because we do believe as a district, and I'd like your opinion on this, that before we get to any sort of reactive like discipline or anything of that nature, we want to make sure that every child has the ability to be responsive and proactive, and that we're teaching those expectations to kids first before we go to any additional route of making sure that students are then, again, successful with their SEL curriculum, successful with their positive behavior interventions. And we don't want to have to be in a position where we discipline students. And that is why we teach those expectations up front.
Yeah, and I definitely feel like teaching that SEL curriculum, it's something that we've, taken for granted that, some students do need that explicit instruction in those different areas to be successful, as it, we don't want those to be barriers to them acquiring those really important academic skills.
Right. That's a great point. Thank you.
So another thing that is new this year is our 6th grade Lead Worthy course. So this is a course that we've added to our 6th grade rotating specials. So like 21st century life skills, all of our 6th grade students will have this Lead Worthy course, which correlates to the Capturing Kids' Hearts curriculum. And it's just another way that students have the opportunity to build some leadership, responsibility. It teaches them how to develop some positive self-image, confidence, and healthy relationships. So very excited to have that as a part of the curriculum. And then we do offer in all of our buildings individual or group social work, based on all of the things that we've talked about above. So like our PBIS, our SEL screeners. So like what we're seeing, diving into those and what needs that we're seeing, how we can address students individually or in groups. And then, of course, one of our DCLT partnerships with the Center for Self-Actualization. We've been so fortunate the past couple of years to have counselors in all of our buildings supporting some of our students through the Center of Self-Actualization. So they've done individual, they've done group, and then they've also provided some crisis support for students as well.
Yes. And I really believe that they've done a lot of professional development for our staff as well, which has been great to have them as an additional resource.
Yeah, that's another good point, Dr. Woodland. I just, when we're talking about SEL and what we're providing for students, it's another aspect we've really been focusing on is providing that professional development for staff as well. So, what is trauma informed and what do our students look like? The center has been providing those, and then our student support services department is providing some of those too. How we can be preventative and proactive when, students are having even minor behaviors in the classroom. So that's something we've really been focusing on as well.
Great. Because everyone needs coaching, right?
Yeah, this is an awesome thing that we've been able to provide for our staff and our parents. So this is one of the mental health resources that we have available for any of our families in District 124. So we've partnered with parentguidance.org. This is a free and online program. They offer a variety of things. First and foremost, they offer parent coaching. Again, it's free, it's confidential. It connects parents with a coach and a therapist. helps them navigate the ups and downs of their child, and really has just been an amazing service that we can, provide for our families. We've had really good feedback. We've had really good numbers when they look at analytics. So we know that our families are utilizing these.
That's wonderful news.
Another thing that they offer is what they call a mental health series. So each month they have a topic, but then they also have multiple mental health webinars offered typically in the evening. They're offered in English or Spanish. Topics include anxiety and depression, navigating through divorce, building your child's self-confidence, vaping. What's another one? The effects of screen time. There's so many different webinars that they offer that are really another support for parents.
Wonderful.
And then each month they offer Ask a Therapist Live, which is once a month, the therapist does a live webinar to answer any specific questions submitted by the attendees on any type of mental health topic that they might have questions on. And then they have a library of on-demand resources, whether it's webinars, articles, all on a variety of topics that, I've spoke of: anxiety, depression, suicide, all centered and focused on like how you can support your student and what type of resources that they might need. So,
and this is all free to parents.
It is all free to parents.
Wow.
So you can access this. Communication typically goes out at the district level through emails and social media. It goes out at the building level. And then I know individual buildings, even the district office has some of our flyers posted for you to scan the QR codes. And then obviously our website has resources as well. So
great.
Definitely encourage anyone to take advantage of that. So up and coming, very excited. We are having our second annual Neurodiversity Spirit Week.
Yay.
Yay. We changed it up this year. Last year we held it in April. This year we're holding it in May. May 19th through the 23rd. It's going to be the week before our Special Olympic event, which I'll talk about in a little bit. So Neurodiversity Spirit Week is a super exciting and a colorful week. We saw a lot of great things last year. So what we do is we have neurodiversity and inclusion lessons at the elementary buildings. These are conducted by our assistant principals. And then our 6th through 8th grade, we actually started those lessons already just because they're being done in advisory and there's so many advisory classes. We want to make sure that we get through them all. Mm-hmm. So the K-3 level, typically the lesson structure is a little conversation. What is inclusion? How can I include others? K-2 will read the book, Can I Play Too? They will do a story discussion. They typically do some type of activity, and then they do a wrap-up lesson. Our 3 through 5, similar structure, but they're reading the book Included, a book for all children about inclusion, diversity, disability, equality, and empathy. And then 6th through 8th is typically a more interactive lesson, but again, with the same structure like discussion. They may watch a video, then have a video discussion, and then do some kind of activity. Great feedback. The kids are really enjoying it. We have obviously purchased the books for our libraries, so we're building our libraries to have more inclusive books. But this is a good week that we've seen a lot of good feedback for. We do have a Spirit Week. All the different days have a different theme. So Monday, we have Movement Monday. Teachers are adding an extra movement break. Tuesday's Tie-Dye Tuesday. Very, very colorful day out there. Wednesday's my favorite, Wear Your Passion Wednesday. Students wear something that they're passionate about. So it's a band, show, character, animal, sport. This is always very cute to see how creative everybody can be. Thursday, Thinking Cap Thursday. Students wear a hat or a headband. Friday, Feel Good Friday. Students will wear pajamas, take a break, color, listen to music, just emphasizing the importance of, finding your own strategy to calm you down. So lots of lessons within the week. They're also
what I really love about this week is that it's really driven on what can we teach our kids. And it's not just, our staff participating, but really making it come to life with our students.
Absolutely. And we're, this year they're including some daily announcements, which just talk about different facts about neurodiversity. And then we do have our neurodiversity t-shirts. This year we partnered with High Five out in Palos, which is the transition program for District 218. I think I got that correct. But we're pretty excited about that as well.
That's awesome. Very good.
Yeah. So Special Olympics. So this is one of the reasons why we changed our neurodiversity week to be the week before our Special Olympic event. We just thought that it would make the most sense. This will be our second annual Special Olympics, which we had an awesome turnout last year, and we're just as excited this year. So Tuesday, May 27th, we'll host our second annual Young Athletes Special Olympics culminating event. Very exciting. So all of our buildings participate. We have 60 athletes with and without disabilities. Their ages are 6 to 12. We have just about 20 volunteers across the district who are dedicating their time weekly. Practices started this week to coach the students in preparation for the culminating event. So this is just an amazing event that provides more opportunities for our students to develop like those physical and social skills, but also to promote our inclusive environment. One of the great things last year was, obviously we only have pockets of kids at each building participating, but each building really got together to do an awesome send-off for all of their athletes. So
that's amazing.
It was amazing to see. And even the amount of families and community members that we had to come to the event to kind of see what it all was amazing. So the turnout was great. The kids had a blast, and it really just was a cool event.
Yes, I can't wait. Great.
Okay, so this is new this past winter. So we have decided to kind of reintroduce a special education parent advisory committee. So we had 2 meetings thus far, and really our goal has been to get together, empower parents, share information, support, network, advocate together, and mostly plan for next year to kick this off in a bigger forum. So the small group has decided on a name for the committee. It is the Special Education Family Advisory Council. So CFAC, again, love a good acronym. Our next meeting is May 14th. That's our last meeting, but really what we are discussing is what we will be doing next school year and what that will look like. So again, if we're talking about networking and supporting and advocating, what do our families want to see and want to hear? So there has been some information that they shared, but we're talking about like what kind of speakers we're going to bring in, how we can promote some networking. Another idea that families had were like resources, kind of even similar to like what our DCLT, but specific to our special education students. And that's where that information sharing, like we talked about, when students have to go to the dentist, there's a lot of disability friendly dentists in the area. So like really getting together and allowing a space for families to kind of share information and network and support each other for things like that. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. So we're talking about meeting next year quarterly, maybe twice in the first quarter of the school year, just so we're kind of have a networking event and then maybe have a speaker event too, and that how we're going to promote that throughout the summer and at the beginning of the year to make sure that we, get the word out to all of our families. So I think this is, it's going to be great. I know that even a lot of our staff initially was interested in getting to know more information and willing to be a part of any meetings that we had as well. So all good things.
I love the idea of parents coming together and just sharing ideas, sharing resources, and just talking about their experience, because I think sometimes that topic can seem as like it's taboo and they don't want to share their feelings, their emotions, and they really do just need that place and space where they can connect with someone who has a similar experience. And I really appreciate you offering that opportunity to our parents currently.
Yeah, it was great to have families in and hear their stories and, just see them connect with each other based on their stories. So it's definitely something that's been long overdue, and I'm excited to have it back. So now we just have to make sure that we can, offer this and get the word out so we have more families participating, because I think that we have a lot of families that have a lot to offer each other in regards to information and supports.
Very true. Great. Yes.
So that's really all that I have. I mean, there's a million other things going on in regards to, our kindergarten registration, all new thing, our last preschool screening for the month of May. All that information can be found on our website.
Yes. Well, I like to think of your department as like a jack of all trades, and they really do support every single aspect of our students from start to finish, our earliest learners in pre-K all the way through 8th grade, and making sure that our kids have everything they need. So Becky, you're in year 3 and you're going into year 4. So tell me, just what are you most proud of with your work, the work of your department in the district, and where do you hope to be in 5 years?
I think what I'm most proud of is just that we're finally in a space where we could do, we could see the changes and do the work. I think that we've, developed really good relationships out there. I think that we work well as a district department, jack of all trades. Like you said, we're all across all grade levels, across, a spectrum. We have supports and services to offer at all of our departments. So I just feel like we're in a good place now. We've put a lot of good procedures in, but I think that also being in a place where our staff can come to us and, pick our brains and problem solve through things. Nothing is cut and dry, especially when I look at special education. All of our students are different. All of our students need different things. Right. I really encourage staff to be creative. There's so much out there that we don't even know about. Everything is always changing. So I just really want the department to be, open and listen, and not only to our families, but to our students and our staff members as well. I think that we've done really good things, especially in regards to our continuum of services and collaborative practices. And again, I think that we have a lot of good people on our team that can support, our general education teachers as well. So I think that that's, one of the great things about the EP family. Really are a family, and we're really looking at how we can support all of our students. I think that's what I'm most proud of. I think that it's just a collaborative effort, so everybody's successful.
Absolutely. And a lot of times too, these conversations, like you've alluded to, are difficult, but if we're all on Team Kid and we want to make sure that we're there for the kids, it really should be about them. And I genuinely believe that your department does that very well, and that you're here to advocate for our students and our students' needs. So thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for sharing all your information in this hashtag We Connect webinar series. As Becky shared, there's more information on our website, so please feel free to visit our website at d124.org for any information that you need. Thank you so much, Becky, and you have a great day.
Thank you, Dr. Woodland. You too.